Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making homemade rolls and homemade butter. You're going to want to start with 2 bowls. Set one aside. I am going to mess up later on, so if you have a KitchenAid mixer, use that as one of your bowls. You're going to add 1 cup of warm milk into one of your bowls and 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. I then added 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar into that mixture. Then you want to go ahead and mix that up really well. I'm now going to add 1 teaspoon of honey. We already added sugar to the yeast mixture, so you don't necessarily need this step, but I like my rolls sweet, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. Once you're finished, go ahead and mix that up really well and let it sit for 15 minutes. This is what it should look like after 15 minutes, and then I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of honey. You might want to also pull out a rubber spatula for this part since honey's sticky, and we want to get all of that honey into the batter and not just in the measuring cup. Next, you're going to want to add 1/2 cup of melted butter and 2 eggs. Once you've added your eggs, go ahead and mix that up really well and then set your bowl aside. This is the part where I messed up. I could have used my KitchenAid mixer bowl for the liquid and then used the orange bowl for the flour. That's not what I did. Don't be like me and give yourself extra dishes to do. If you were like me, go ahead and switch that out. In your separate bowl, you want to go ahead and add 3 1/2 to 4 cups of flour. Since I'm trying to go for a sweeter roll, I added 1 teaspoon of sugar into my flour mixture, along with a pinch of salt. At this time, if you have a KitchenAid, I would add the dough hook attachment and then go ahead and start it as you feed a little bit of flour into your liquid mixture a few cups at a time. After you added all your flour, it should start looking like a loose dough. Go ahead and keep mixing until all of that flour is incorporated. Now you want to go ahead and grab a decent sized bowl and grease the inside of it so that way your dough doesn't stick to the sides as it's proofing. At this time, the flour should be all incorporated. Go ahead and pull that out. It should be smooth and slightly sticky, but not enough to stick to your whole hand. Go ahead and form that into a rough ball and toss it into the bowl that is lightly greased. Now cover your dough with a paper towel, plastic wrap, a cloth, and let it sit for 1 to 2 hours while it doubles in size. In my clean KitchenAid mixer, I'm going to add 1 whole carton of heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to set my speed on my kitchen mixer to about 8. After about 10 minutes, you're basically going to get a mixture of flavorless whipped cream. Go ahead and continue mixing this until you start seeing the butter separate from the liquid. That liquid is called buttermilk. You want to save that. Once you realize the butter separated from the buttermilk, go ahead and pull it out and put your butter into an ice bath and let it submerge into that ice bath for about 5 minutes. And then you want to take it out and start squeezing it. It's going to be really cold. There's going to be leftover buttermilk inside your butter, and if we leave that in there, it's going to cause bacteria to grow and for it to get moldy, and we don't want that. So we want to squeeze it until the liquid coming out of the butter runs clear. As you can see, this can take a while. Once you realize when you squeeze your butter and you have clear liquid coming out, you want to shape it into a ball. And don't forget about your buttermilk. Your buttermilk is good in your refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. I'm making cinnamon butter with my homemade butter. You don't have to do this, but you can. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And yes, I know my kitchen whisk is broken. I need a new one. It'll be fixed in the next clip. Add a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more of vanilla. I really like vanilla. Add some squeezes of honey. I'm honestly just eyeballing this, so you can do the same, or you can figure out your own measurements. And I added a little bit of cinnamon, and I'm gonna go ahead and let that mix in my KitchenAid mixer for about 5 minutes. Once that's done, you can go ahead and take it out and put it in an airtight container, and it should be good in your refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. It's been about 2 hours now, so go ahead and take your dough out and punch it to let the air out. Do your best to not squeeze it. We want to leave at least some air left in it. Use a dough cutter to cut little pieces of dough off and then go ahead and start to roll it. I do suggest doing smaller pieces than what I did because my rolls came out a little bit too big enough to finish. So I do suggest doing smaller roll balls. And then you should end up with a cute little smooth dough ball like this. You can go ahead and set it on a greased cooking pan or a cooking pan with parchment paper on it. Once you've made all of your balls, you want to go ahead and let them sit covered with a paper towel or a cloth for about another hour while they double in size again. Once they're doubled in size, you want to go ahead and throw them into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. 5 minutes before the rolls are finished, go ahead and pull them out and make a mixture of butter and honey and go ahead and glaze the top of the rolls. You can stop here and eat them like this, but I've noticed that the honey and the butter make them very wet and very sticky, so I throw them back in the oven for about another 5 minutes. And there you have it, homemade rolls with homemade cinnamon butter. Here's a little shot for you guys of what the bread looks like after it just came out of the oven. These are the rolls I made the next day for my brother and his girlfriend. They absolutely love them. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I see you guys next time. Bye!